television courtroom had never seen such raw, unapologetic disrespect aimed at someone who had given so much for his country. Karen Daniels, a 48-year-old real estate agent known for her polished appearance, luxury car, and designer wardrobe, sat confidently in Judge Judy's courtroom, with the air of someone used to getting her way. Across from her was James Crawford, a 67-year-old retired Marine Corps veteran. His aged hands trembled slightly as he held onto a folder filled with documents and photographs of his late wife. What unfolded over the next 3 minutes would explode across the internet, becoming one of the most viral courtroom moments ever recorded. But what made it unforgettable wasn't just that Karen lost her case. It was the way Judge Judy dismantled her, swiftly, fiercely, and without mercy, leaving behind consequences that would destroy Karen's career overnight. Before that moment, the situation had already been brewing for months. James Crawford never wanted to step into a courtroom. After 24 years of honorable service in the Marine Corps, including deployments to Vietnam and Desert Storm, he had earned both a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star with valor. He had endured combat, loss, and memories that still haunted him decades later. Through all of it, his wife Mary had been his support system. When she passed away from cancer 8 months earlier, Jim was left grieving deeply. The last responsibility he had was to sell a modest home Mary had inherited, valued at around $380,000. To him, this wasn't just a transaction, it was closure, a way to honor her memory with integrity. That's when Karen Daniels entered the picture. She presented herself as a top-tier agent, promising exceptional service and quick results. Jim, a man who believed in honesty and commitment, trusted her and signed a contract agreeing to a 6% commission, $22, $800 upon sale. What he didn't realize was that he had become another target in a pattern of exploitation. Over the next 3 months, Karen's efforts were almost non-existent. She posted only 2 photos of the property online, failed to show up for 4 scheduled open houses, and ignored numerous attempts by Jim to reach her. Calls went unanswered. Emails were left without replies. When Jim finally confronted her in person, she dismissed his concerns, brushing him off as though he were an inconvenience. But Jim began to investigate. Speaking with other agents, he learned that Karen's behavior was far from professional. When he asked to end the agreement, her attitude shifted instantly. She refused. Not only that, she demanded her full commission plus an additional $8,000 in so-called marketing fees, despite doing virtually nothing. Her lawyer sent a threatening letter filled with intimidating legal language, warning of lawsuits and financial consequences. For Jim, the demand wasn't just about money. It felt like a betrayal of everything he stood for. Karen, however, was confident. She had faced complaints before and always managed to escape consequences. Preparing for Judge Judy's courtroom, she believed she had a winning case. What she didn't know was that Judge Judy had already identified multiple inconsistencies in her claims. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as proceedings began. Jim entered first, composed but visibly nervous. Dressed modestly with a small American flag pinned to his suit, Karen followed, walking in with confidence, barely acknowledging his presence. Judge Judy began by outlining the case. Jim spoke calmly, explaining his situation, his loss, Karen's lack of effort. He listed missed appointments, ignored communication, and broken promises. When he mentioned his military service, it wasn't for sympathy, just context for why trust mattered so much to him. Karen reacted with visible irritation. She rolled her eyes, sighed loudly, and treated his words with clear disdain. Judge Judy noticed everything. When Karen was given the floor, she immediately interrupted, speaking in a condescending tone. She dismissed Jim's testimony as irrelevant and framed the situation as simple buyer's remorse. She waved around printed articles, attempting to lecture the court on legal matters. When Jim tried to speak, she talked over him. Judge Judy stopped her sharply, reminding her to wait her turn. Karen responded with visible annoyance. As questioning continued, Judge Judy pressed Karen about her marketing efforts. Her answers were vague and filled with excuses. Then Jim quietly spoke again, expressing that all he had wanted was honesty. That's when everything changed. Karen laughed, a sharp, mocking sound that echoed through the courtroom. She accused him of playing the soldier card, dismissing his service as a tactic to gain sympathy. The room fell into stunned silence. Jim stood still, clearly hurt but maintaining control. Judge Judy's demeanor shifted instantly. Her voice lowered, calm but intense, as she asked Karen to repeat what she had said. Karen doubled down, repeating her statement without hesitation. That was the moment her fate was sealed. Judge Judy leaned forward, her tone cutting through the room. She challenged Karen's view, questioning how she could reduce decades of service, sacrifice, and bravery to something trivial. Karen attempted to justify herself, but her confidence was beginning to crack. Judge Judy then asked her what she had personally sacrificed for her country. Karen's answer, "I pay my taxes," was met with quiet disbelief. From there, Judge Judy methodically dismantled her case. She highlighted the lack of work, the missed obligations, and the unreasonable demands. Then she made it personal. She spoke about her own father, a World War II veteran, describing the sacrifices he and others had made. The courtroom was completely silent. She drew a direct comparison between her father and Jim, emphasizing the respect owed to those who serve. Karen sat frozen, her earlier arrogance gone, replaced by fear. Judge Judy then delivered her ruling. Karen would receive no commission. Instead, she was ordered to pay Jim $10,000 in damages, half for breach of contract, half for emotional distress. Karen attempted to protest, claiming it was unfair. That's when Judge Judy's tone rose, delivering a powerful rebuke about sacrifice, service, and the meaning of fairness. The courtroom erupted in applause. Judge Judy called out Karen's behavior directly, labeling it predatory and unacceptable. With a final strike of the gavel, the case was closed. Karen left the courtroom shaken, her composure completely gone. Then came the most powerful moment. Jim stood, came to attention, and saluted Judge Judy, and for the first time, she returned the salute. The courtroom rose in a standing ovation. The moment quickly spread across social media, reaching millions within hours. Karen's life unraveled just as quickly. Her license was suspended, complaints surfaced, and her reputation collapsed. Her business disappeared, and her personal life followed. Jim, on the other hand, found support and recognition. His property sold quickly, and donations poured in. He used much of it to help other veterans. The case became more than just a viral clip. It became a reminder that respect matters, and that sometimes justice isn't just about the law, it's about standing up for what's right.